Hello and welcome back to Mr. Caro Plays Blyth Spartan Non League to Premier League Challenge. Now, I've played a couple of games since my last video, and actually I won both games quite convincingly. You can see in that game that JJ O'Donnell got 3 goals against Kidderminster, and I'm pretty certain they're a pretty good team. We're predicted to do quite poorly, so any win is a good win, I guess, in some respects, but no. We obviously lost our first game 2-1, but we won that 3-0, and we just won a game against AFC Telford, and we won that 2-0, and it was a goal from Patrick Almond and Jamie Clark. And now both goals are from set pieces, so which is quite promising. I'll just show you how that. So as you can see, we've just done that. We're going to skip the press conference because I don't tend to worry about those too much. Now we're going to aim to get through two games in this episode. Many visitors have won in 2 days, and we'll play another one after that. And this against Farsley Celtic. Now, incidentally, I've been there before randomly. I think it was maybe the last one, or if not 2020. I took them to the Premier League, so I have done this challenge before, as it were, quite successfully in the past. But yeah, I don't press conferences. We'll play this one. Yeah, I don't really care about them, to be fair. That may have actually annoyed them slightly, but we're doing all right this season. If we just refresh our minds and we go back to the table and we look at our season preview. So we're predicted to finish second from bottom. So we're already doing better than expectations. We're sixth. I think that's a player. One goes up automatically in one playoff. I think that makes sense. In one playoff of North and South, I assume. Then there's 2. Yeah, if 3 teams go up, that kind of makes sense. So yeah, we're doing all right. With 2 wins out of 3. The first one we played very good football, and we were just unlucky. To be fair, I think that's the best way to describe that. I don't think we can complain too much. We certainly didn't play badly. This guy, Patrick Almond, on loan from Sunderland, is playing a great season so far. I mean, unsurprisingly, perhaps. His obviously star rating is far superior to anyone else, and he's pulling through to that standard, no doubt. I mean, maybe at some point we might use him in a slightly different position, but certainly for now we're going to skip that. I will use some data analysts, but not currently. To be honest, it's largely pointless in this league, I think. I mean, it's a great tool to have, but we're very much building our team. So to worry about sort of stats too heavily is probably not going to be in our favour. We're constantly changing and moving players around. So yeah, Farsley Celtic next, and then Brackley Town, who are third currently, and they're 22nd. So they're rock bottom, I believe, of the league, perhaps. I don't know how many there is in this division. Yeah, they're literally bottom of the league. So hopefully we can get a third win in a row. That would be pretty nice. So we'll just do this. I tend to say yes, start training to those, unless I strongly disagree. Do you want to place any of these on loan? I think not at the second. We'll just skip through that. Sometimes it's more useful than others, I think, for those personally. So you can see we're a semi-professional team, which means we only train in a couple of days a week. So we're going to get limited success until we turn professional in terms of our attributes progressing. And as you can also see, we're kind of fatigued. I think that's a fair way of putting it, and that's not that surprising necessarily. I mean, we're obviously playing a lot of games. We're going to make a few changes in quick succession. So, I mean, I pain to take Little off. He did a great cross for the second goal on the previous one, but I think we need to make some changes to freshen up a little bit. And I think I'm going to do the same on the right. And I think that'll probably be it for now. In fact, I might change out the striker. We are playing around with our strikers. And what I'm trying to do is if they score a goal within reason, I'm going to put them in. Because I mean, I'm a reward success kind of guy. And Clark scored in the last game, so we're going to reward his success with a start in this game. But also it helps to keep players fit. Now, you don't want to... Personally, my tip would be not to make too many changes, especially if you're coming away with a couple wins in a row, because you don't want to take out the magic ingredient, so to speak, to coin the phrase. But yeah, we're going to see how we go. So I'm just going to go through this. As always in these, I do tend to do player instructions. I know some people tend to avoid them and don't bother too much. I think I read many years ago, we're talking probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, a sort of method that tends to work. Now they have changed that slightly with the tight mark and tight press from the previous adaptation of what they called that previously. But generally speaking, I think that the sentiment is still the same. Now, I will, if anyone's on low composure, I always try and press them more tightly. I think that tends to work. But I think in lower league, to be fair, I think it's much of muchness, to be honest. I mean, if you've got someone who's much more... I mean, he's obviously playing out of position. I'm just going to not mark him tightly. If you've got a really kind of dominant heading presence in there, then I tend to go a little bit easy on the tackling and mark tightly. But I mean, there's a bit of give and throw, to and fro. And also, I don't do the subs. I used to do the subs as well. I'm just going to change that, because when I play on my own, I don't play in 3D. That's just purely for you guys. And I think we're going to have key highlights, because I want to get 2 games in today. Yeah, so I don't tend to play with 3D, mainly because I don't really like it. I mean, I've got a relatively good graphics card, but it does seem to... I mean, graphics on this game are not great, but it does seem to sort of lag a little bit. I don't know if that's because I'm recording as well. But it frustrates me a little bit, to be honest. So I don't tend to play in 3D. I tend to play in the 2D. And I like seeing the little circles running around. That's like classic Football Manager. So, got a bit of an injury to our star player. Talk him up and he gets injured, eh? It's not great. We'll take him off. I mean, we are blessed with the fact that we have some good substitutes. I mean, I made out that this game would be a nice one for us, but now they're going to score straight from that 1-0 to Farsley. Yeah, it's always a funny one when you play a couple of games off camera, because as soon as you come back on camera and then your team starts losing, people think, maybe quit or fast played. But no, I didn't. I did generally win those 2 games quite easily, which is not happening in this. But I did make a few changes, so perhaps it's not working in our favour. I mean, if we can finish in the playoffs, obviously that's where we want to be, really. I mean, if we do better than that, fantastic. But I mean, realistically, I think playoffs, and I think these kind of games where they're very close together are going to be a hard one for us to manage. There are a few professional teams, I think, possibly in League North. Maybe not, but there could be. And we're obviously not one of them. And maybe fitness is something I need to look at. So we're going to play Connor Thompson out of position there. And then hopefully I'm just going to maybe play a bit more direct. See if that works for us. Obviously the games are going a lot quicker on this mode. We've got a free kick here. This proved evident. This proved well for us last time. We had a free kick. Got to score. Yes, Thompson. And as a substitute as well. What a legend. Connor Thompson with a goal there. Great finish. Now these videos have been... second video is quite popular, so I'm enjoying making this. Not because, you have to make a video that's popular, but it's nice. And actually some of the Blyth Spartan fan pages even gave it a like on Twitter and retweeted it for me, which obviously brought people to the channel. So if we've got any fans of the team watching this video, then welcome aboard. Unfortunately, there are going to be a lot of personnel changes, but simply because we want to progress through the leagues. But you never know, some of your favourite players may stay in this longer. Certainly this Thompson guy was a quality player, so maybe he'll be around for a few years. So we've got Reed on the ball here. Reed has a shot from long distance. Good save, Kendrick. So yeah, we're playing some good football. I think I noticed that in the first game. We played extended highlights in that first game, and we were playing some, although we lost, we played some quality football, and I've seen that in the previous 2 games as well. We're certainly not a team that's just lumping the ball forward, Big Sam style, and hoping for the best. We are playing some good football. This is probably if you look at the stats, we've had 14 shots and 9 on target, and expected goal of 1. So we're playing some good football, 65% of the ball as well. So we are playing some good ball. Now, that's the first game with a draw. Like I say, realistically, playoffs for us are where we want to be. Obviously, automatic promotion, fantastic, but I think that might be a bit optimistic. So we're 5th at the second after 4 games. I think we can, take our hats off and say that's pretty tip of the hat there. 3 to 6 weeks, your best defender. That is not what you need. You don't need that. After talking him up and saying he's some sort of quality player, and then to lose him, we might have to dip into the loan market. Now we've got 3 players. So quite a few tired players. I think we need some potential loan players. Now the beauty of this time of the season with loan players is what I tend to find is that, and this is kind of like a tip if you like. I'm not claiming to be a Football Manager expert by any stretch of imagination. I've played it for many years, so I guess in some ways I have a bit of knowledge. But what I find is that this time, what you tend to get is at this time of the transfer market, certainly on this version, people are more willing to give out players for free. which I mean is the case there. I don't know if we've got enough time to scout him or maybe give it a go. I mean, realistically, he's going to be good, isn't he, in this division? If I say anyone can be recalled, central defender. I tend to try and play around a preferred role because it's been caught out so many times trying to get someone, and you don't necessarily. Sometimes I don't pay attention, I must admit, and that accidentally happens. But generally speaking, I don't want a player who I know is not going to fit in my team. I need them to be able to fit into some fashion, otherwise what's the point? It's just scouting in progress. That's kind of handy and not handy at the same time. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to skip ahead to the next game and see how that goes. And if anything interesting happens in the meantime, I will pop back. And with the power of YouTube, we are back. So we've got 2 days before the next game. Now I've just added another player, Harry McHugh. Now I'm not sure he's actually going to come back to be any good, to be honest. I didn't have a chance to scout him. I just kind of wanted an extra bit of depth in there. So he may not be someone we use. He may just be someone who doesn't. In fact, he's come back and he's very good. So we probably will use him. Sometimes it's hard to judge. As much as I've been quite successful in the lower leagues on this game, I must admit my eye for talent is not always fantastic. I mean, his stats did look relatively good, but sometimes they're misleading. You know, sometimes you can think a player is going to be really good and then he turns out to be pretty poor. So he is a great sort of backup, second choice, maybe even first choice in there, to be fair, central midfielder. So yeah, I'm great to have him in there. He's only a second loan player as well, so it's brilliant. And I'm hoping we'll get a loan. Yeah, I went to try and get a sort of, again, similar principle. I haven't scouted this player. I looked at his stats and he looks pretty good to me. I mean, he's got good heading, good marking, good tackling. Technique is important because I love a player who can pass the ball. And obviously his physical stats are pretty good as well. So I'm thinking I'd be very surprised if he doesn't come out as good as well. It's kind of in itself, am I good at judging these players? Now, you'll notice I haven't got player masking here and he'd come out good. I haven't got player masking on. I figured that although that's a challenge and I appreciate that adds a bit of level of difficulty to this, for viewers' perspective and for mine, it would just be really annoying to have to ultimately scout all players to the nth just to find out if they're any good. Now, I realise maybe that takes away from the experience slightly. I apologise, but that's a decision I made to make the videos the best I can. Now, that guy's going to slot straight in. So Adam Senior is basically in for Patrick Armand. At some point, I'm guessing they'll both probably be in the team, but certainly for now, it's a direct replacement in there, which works perfectly. Now, I've obviously signed 2 players, good quality players in that team, which is fantastic. I didn't look through what I said, and that came back as a negative. I think they'll come round. I've got a sneaking suspicion they're going to come round to love Jimmy Davis, the Canadian. I mean, he's going to be very short. He's a Canadian. He knows his business. He knows what he wants. And I'm sure they'll love him in the end. But for now, they're kind of unsure about whether they love him or not, which is a shame. But we'll see. I'm sure we'll be able to turn him around. So we've got Brackley today, in Brackley Town, in the second of the 2 games we're going to play today. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, we drew the last game. I was slightly disappointed. We played well, but I was slightly disappointed we weren't able to win. But that's just how it ended up working out for us. We have got another opportunity potentially to sign another defender on loan. I went in for 2. Sometimes because you end up getting gazumped, if you like, or someone comes in and they find him a better option, so to speak. I went in for 2 and hoped that I'd get 1, but if I get 2, that's not the end of the world. Now, I think the transfer window for this league does extend further than perhaps other divisions. That's certainly the way it seems to play out, or seems to. I'm going to just change and get rid of unavailable players in there. There's no point of us being able to see masses upon masses of players. And we're going to bring back Little in there, and we're going to bring back Connor Thompson because he scored in the last game and he's a quality player. Now I'm going to see, I think that Harry guy should probably come straight in. Yeah, he's going to. Not because this guy, Davidix, is not a good player. I mean, he's great. He's had a great couple of games with 7.28. In some ways, I might actually switch him in there for Painter. And Cameron Painter's done nothing to deserve that per se. It's just Davidix has got that. He seems to be that sort of vital touch. Whether he'll be able to play that from the central midfielder position remains to be seen. But certainly, it's very hard to leave players out when they're doing well. As much as I like that Connor dude, and I think he's got a great deal of potential and what we really want to bring forward. We want to get out of the league, so we need success now. So just going to do our player instructions that we've done before, and we'll keep it at the same sort of highlight length. If these videos end up being too short, then I am willing to make them extend the highlights, especially if we do one game episodes, then we'll definitely do that. So they want me to trigger a press in there. They've got wing backs. I tend to just make them play off their foot. I mean, maybe that's a mistake, but that's what we're going to do. And then we'll look at him and see so we're going to tightly mark him. Let's have a look and see what he's tackling. His bravery's like, he's not going to be the most brave, so I'm going to try and clatter him around a bit. Jordan Richards, composure, we'll press him. See as his bravery is low as well. We're going to probably pick up some yellows in this game. Fabio Lopez, that sounds like he should be playing for a team much higher than Brackley Town. It's a good name. It goes to see what they say we should do with him. So he's probably going to be a heading kind of target man. Maybe not. He's 5'10", maybe not. It's just, I often think that when they say tightly mark, but that doesn't necessarily, I mean, that might, they say tightly mark both these players, to be honest. We're not going to do that. We're going to press one of them and tackle him. We've got a lot of tackling hard. Maybe we'll just press him. So go out there and impress. Let's see how we go. Apologise for the keyboard clicks. Just I get a bit excited, so I press the keyboard really quick there. So we'll see how we go. Against the third place team, we are sixth. I think 7 teams seem to go through to the playoffs. We start in sixth. We think we started as 7th maybe, but we're either way, we're 6th currently as the live table goes. So we've got Senior, the new player, passes the ball up, and that was an unfortunately bad pass. For first highlight, you're always a bit worried when you're on key highlights that it could be them. The key highlight could be based around them, and we don't really want that. But if that's the way it goes, it's the way it goes. You can't, as much as I wish we could guarantee success, that is not necessarily how it's going to go. It could be a major fail of a season, but I'm hope not. But the way that this highlight's going, it doesn't look good for us. Can we win the ball back is the question. No, it looks like it's going through. He's one-on-one with the keeper, and he scores. So that's not great from us there. We're 1 down to Brackley Town. Apparently they're red hot, but that guy is a great finish there. Can't complain with the finish. He curved us up, or they carved us open there, really, to be honest. He played it back to Armisen. Armisen just played a ball over the top, and it was 1-0 to them. Yeah, it's not a great start to this game. Senior on the ball again. It was his ball that gave it away, actually, at the very start there. As much as I encourage them to play, and I want them to play football, we also want them to be successful with the ball at the feet. It's a good ball to Liddell. Liddell gets it, and he passes the ball up to O'Donnell. O'Donnell to Clark. He does a little turn on the ball and passes back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell does a run. He's on the ball. He's running past 2. Well, he's still on the same person. He gets the ball back. Hopefully he's going to do some kind of forward pass. He passes to Reed. Reed gets it to McHugh. McHugh passes it to Brian. Brian on the ball now. Passes to McHugh. Passes to Senior. We're playing well at the back. He passes the ball forward. Another aimless pass forward, but we regain the ball back at Clark. Clark passes to Thompson. It's a good play here. You get Clark in on goal there, and it's 1-1. Great goal. Great build-up. Connor Thompson assist with the assist. And Jamie Clark with the second goal of his season. Or his season. It was a great play. I would be a little worried about Senior's inability to make a clean pass there, but nevertheless, we regained the ball there. Lopez made a mistake. Certainly not Premier League quality there. And Clark with a great finish. It's 1-1 after 26 minutes or 27 minutes. So yeah, back up to 7th. I don't know why I'm really worried about the season at this point, to be honest. It's very early in. So Franklin with the throw in here. He throws it in. We get the ball back to Buddle. Buddle passes to Liddell. Liddell passes to Buddle. He passes it forward. Nobody's up there. Davis with the ball plays it back to Franklin. He passes it to Lowe. Lowe passes it to Lopez. He wants to prove me wrong, and he does. Fabio Lopez with a great goal there. It's almost as if he knew that I was slagging him off, and he hits that past 25 yards and makes it 2-1 to Brackley Town. Now, I criticised him. That was a mistake, clearly. If he knew, not that he knew that I was doing that, but that was a great finish there. I have no complaints. with that one from our defence. It was just a fantastic shot. Maybe he is a good player after all. Tell him he's bad and he smashes it in. So we've got a free kick here. Liddell puts it. Hopefully he's going to put the ball in. Oh, it's a bit of an nothing came of that. Liddell back again. Can he do anything with it? He passes to Dividix, who passes to Reed, who has a shot. Oh, just over the bar. Grazes the crossbar. So we're going to go into half time. 2-1 down, which is not great, to be honest. You know, having won 2 games in a row off camera, since I've been on camera, it's almost as if they know that I'm recording and decided to not play so well. But, you know, it's going to be a long season. Low with a free kick here. Has a shot. Good save, keeper. From that angle, it definitely looked like it was going in. I'm so thankful it didn't. So we're going to bring on Painter. I think we'll bring on, although he doesn't play in the left, I think we're going to bring on Ebanks as well. So Dividix on the ball there. Good touch. Oh, the end of that highlight. Highlight was over before we knew it. So we are, again, getting good stats. It's not the stats that are worrying me. In fact, nothing's worrying me per se. I think we're doing okay. I think we can definitely do better. But it's a long season. You know, we're going to be to and fro in this, I think, to be honest. Yeah, we picked a hard challenge with a team. Normally in these sort of challenges, I think I said in the first episode, I would choose teams where I could not guarantee that we'd get promoted in the first season, but certainly make it easy for myself. I haven't done that with this. This is a hard challenge, although nothing against Blyth. You know, that Football Manager's maybe been harsh to them, but it hasn't rated them the greatest. So we're going to try and make something of it. And Clark on the ball here. He's in space. He should score here, really. He does not score. Oh, how's that cleared off the line? All the angles there, he looked like he should have scored. I almost took, I can't believe he didn't actually score that, to be completely honest. There was all the angles. Liddell's putting another great performances, as is Thompson. But yeah, we're just a little bit short, and we're going to lose this one as well. But the stats again in our favour. So frustrating when you lose it in that way. Right, it's the disappointing end to the episode, that is for sure. In fact, I don't think I haven't won on camera yet, which is incredibly frustrating. I won, let's say, the 2 games off, but let's have a quick look at where we stand in the schedule. First, then we'll look at, so we won those 2 games off camera against Kidminster and Telford. We drew against Farsley, and we probably should have won that, to be honest. And then we lost 2-1 to Brackley, and that was a harder game, to be fair. So next up is Darlington, then we've got an FA Cup second round. Now I really want to do well in the FA Cup if I can. The money really helped to progress us quickly. One thing that let us down was the lack of ability to sign players. I think being able to get a few signings in January is going to help us out greatly. And then we've got Chester, Chorley and Hereford. So we've got some good games. I think York's going to be a tough one in there. Boston perhaps is a tough one as well. They may be all tough, to be honest. But yeah, I think we're going to leave the episode here. If you like this video, please subscribe and like. It helps the algorithms, as they say. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.